welcome to Nemi's Crafty Cafe. It is Tuesday, April 29th. Oh, I can't believe we're like at the end of the month already. Anyway, I am here live on my Facebook, YouTube channel. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna make sure everything is working. Oh, and it is. Perfect. So I'm logged in and close. Support your channel in every way. Awesome. So everything looks okay, I think, and I've got volume. So if you're there, say hello so I can see you online. And then as well, it also lets me know that you can hear me, see me, all that kind of jazz, or even just give me an emoji or a thumbs up if you know I'm there. So thank you for joining me. The reason I'm hosting this one here on my YouTube page is Facebook has done a lot of changes to their pages. And every time I do a Facebook Live, I have to dump it, download it, and then transfer it to my YouTube channel. Um, I haven't had much success lately. Hello, Christine. Thanks for joining with our Valley. We have fiber network, but for some reason I'm still struggling with trying to get things working. Hello, Shell. Thank you, thank you. So glad you can join me and you can hear me. So, and this video I feel will take a little bit longer, although I did it already live on Zoom as a class on Sunday, and it just took us just under 2 hours. So I'm hoping tonight can be quite similar, maybe a little faster, but I will keep my pace so that if you are crafting along with me, you can keep up. If you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to put it in the chat. In order to participate in the chat, you also need to make sure you're logged into your YouTube account. So welcome to my channel and let's get this party craftiness started. So I'm going to try and flip you here and hopefully this will work. Yes. Okay. And I wanted to go on at 6 o'clock today so that I could take advantage of the beautiful sun. Hello, Lise. Hello, hello. But schedule went wonky. My kid was supposed to, my youngest was supposed to be at U of M, and then um, what? Not now. It's asking me for a soft software update. I won't be able to. No worries, no worries. So what's great is coming here means you can catch the replay at any given time and play it back as many times as you like, as to whatever you see fit. So anyway, he was supposed to be at U of M, then I got we got mixed up and he was out on a band trip and he was supposed to be home by 5. Then we got a message that they were running late, of course. So he didn't get home till almost 6 and then trying to get supper, catch up, etc. I was like, okay, this ain't happening at 6. All that noise coming in. So, ooh, almost knocked my light over. Okay, I think I'm okay. So let's get crafty. So I just want you to know too that don't worry if you can't stay for all. But um, I did a fund. My son has been fundraising because he's been traveling a lot to showcase tournaments for soccer, and we just came back from Edmonton and we won silver. So thank you for those helping us out. And now we're going to Toronto, May long weekend. And so everybody that bought 50/50 tickets at my last retreat in spring, I offered up a class. So for $10, you get to get this tutorial with all the measurements. And then if you paid $20 for full double arm's length, you got the kit. So in this kit are all the pieces you need to create um, 4 fun folds. And so I'm going to share those with you here because not everyone was able to go onto the Zoom on Sunday. I mean, it was a beautiful weekend here on Saturday. So, you know, Sunday meant catch up as well. So, and I don't blame you all. But anyway, the fun thing about all my classes is you can do them at your own time, at your own leisure, and they always come packaged. And so you could just take it along with your basic supplies kit. Okay, so we're going to make 4, and we're going to start with um, an accord. They call it an accordion center panel, but I like to call it, kind of like a bird or a seagull, because it actually kind of fits like this. I'm just gonna move some stuff around here because I want to make sure I'm in the center. And I dropped something. Oh yes, my other card. There we go. And this one was inspired by Kylie Bertucci, I think. No, sorry, I lied. It's Lisa Curcio. And so I just modified a couple of dimensions, but it's all in here. So in your package, you'll have, or in your digital tutorial that I sent you, you have all the measurements along with full colored pictures of how to create this. So in your kit, everything is already cut for you. So let's pull that out and we'll get started here. So I'm going to prep my kit here and put that aside. And we'll get the pieces we need for this one. And so those pieces are this one right here. So it's already kitted for you. Now, I don't know if I will go through all that, but I might. So we'll see. Now, I used for this one, and here's the beauty, you can use whatever you have in your stash. It just doesn't matter. I pulled out something else and I thought would be fun to use with this one too, which is wildflower. And I thought, oh, this would work perfectly here too as the center. And also, I could swap that out too and put a cake. So use whatever you got. In this case here, I use mixed florals, which is not this one. I have all my stuff here. Um, this one here. So anything really, whatever your heart desires, is what you can use. I really like that one. It's a little too big, but we just have to trim some of that off. And I think even with the Misty Moonlight in there, with the colors I gave you, works well. And then as well as this one, which is a sticker, and would just fit perfectly in the center of that as well. So lots of options. Just use what you got. And we might use that just to show as an alternative. But since we have my sample already done for you. Okay, so let's get started with this one. It is a card with a card. So it does open up, if I can open it, in the middle so that you can write something on the inside. And it does fold, and so you know that it does fit inside of an envelope. So a little more bulky, but it will fit. We did some testing on Sunday, and it will fit inside the card. So let me just show you how to put this together. And after that, you can make a million of these. So, and it's a lot of fun. Let me put that where I can actually see it. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out our pieces, which is our base, and we're going to score those. Now, thankfully, and if you got your kits, Barb, who does all my prepping, has already prepped these for us. So look, she even prepped our little card. And if you want, I didn't give you a white piece on the inside. If you want to put a white piece, you can, because I find that with this flirty flamingo, you can write in blue and black pen and it sees through, and you can see through it perfectly fine. And this card is also great if you have a lot of strips you want to actually make. It works fantastic that way. So we're going to go along the long side here and score along the long side. And I say the long side because this is already 5.5 inches. So you can see here, it's already cut to fit your standard card. So all we're going to do is put this into the card base here, and we're going to start scoring. So what I gave everybody in their kits was from the Celebration um, designer series paper. And so I had so much of it left over, and I was like, this would make a great card because, like, I had so many strips. And I thought, fantastic. This is what works great for this card. And that shows off how much you can actually use for this. So we're going to just score both because we actually need two pieces, obviously, to make the wings of this card. And we're just scoring it according to the instructions or the measurements that I provided. I know it might be hard to see. I actually noticed that in one of the cards, I switched my card base so you could see it. And then all we're going to do now is score those pieces. So this one, we're just gonna score in a, what do you call it? Accordion pattern. Hence the name. I guess that's why it's called an accordion panel card, because that's literally what you're doing. Is scoring it like an accordion. Okay. So foldy foldy. I was taking my bone folder and making sure those are perfect. Now there's two edges, and each one of them, as you can see, one's thicker than the other. So I'll show you here. So one is thicker than the other. So you want to make sure the two thicker edges are facing each other. This way. Okay. So these two are the thicker ones, so they're exactly made the same. So we're just going to flip one over so that these are our front pieces. And actually it goes this way, right? And this way. My apologies. Did I fold it right? Oh, this one goes forward. That's why. I'm like, it's not folding right. Okay, because these are our two pieces that the flap sits on. So there's our two. So we've got a weird shape. I'll just hold it up like that. So we've got our two edges, which is where the pieces will go. This is our inside piece, and this is where our flap will, our second or our base card will sit. So it goes like this. So to make it easy and remind myself that that's the case, we've already pre-cut our pieces, and these will go together. So we've got a thinner piece which fits right in here. And I made these 1/8 inch smaller all around so that that way, I'm missing one, which is probably still in the envelope. And where is it? Yes, it is right there. So then everything is 1/8 inch smaller. Now you could do your standard 1/4 inch, of course, but oops, you can see that one doesn't fit there. And again, these were cut for us already. So you should have all these pieces in your kit. So we're just going to take our tape, whatever adhesive you prefer. I like to just use my Seal Plus because it's easy to work with these shapes. And then put that down, and that one will go there. And then we'll do this one. You know, this Winnipeg weather really gets to me. It's so nice out, but it gets so cold. Um, my 14-year-old, like, he had practice yesterday. So I said, dress warm. So he had his thermal wear on, he had his tracksuit on. I'm like, pack a toque and mitts. And he's like, oh, I don't need it. I said, no, do it. So I forced him to bring it. So then I went to warm up somewhere because otherwise I'm sitting in my car for 2 hours, and did some work because I manage his team. So I did some soccer work. And so, whatchamacallit, I came back and oh, lo and behold, he's got his toque on, he's got his mitts on. And I'm like, I told you it was cold. And he gets in the car, he's like, I'm so cold. And I'm like, yeah. I go, but you played in colder weather in Edmonton. So, Winnipeg, we can't seem to get that spring nice weather coming our way, right? Has anyone opened up any of their cottages or anything like that? No, maybe. You'd think by now. I remember the days when it was nice and sunny at this time, and you know, our yard work would be all done, but the weather is definitely changing. Okay, so again, you can do a single layer. You don't have to do a white or colored any other color as a base layer underneath. Really, it's up to you, and I have no problem with you going rogue. Because seriously, this is your card, your design, um, your choice. I just want to give you the base design And then from there, create a way. I'm just doing this upside down because I am right-handed, and for me, it's just easier. Okay, so wherever the two thin panels are is where you would add your designer series paper, and then the thicker two edges are where you're going to add the focal point. So there we go. Now, how do we add that centerpiece? Well, easy peasy. So you can have two choices. The thing is, you want this to be, the trick here is to make sure this is butted up. So I'm just going to drop you down a bit for this piece because this is the important part. Your pool is opening next Wednesday? Oh, oh, wow. Yes, I hope warmer weather comes. You know, it's that May long that kills us, right? Like, you never know what that weather is going to be like. Okay, so we don't want this to move as we're trying to stick this together. So actually, Lise gave us a great idea. You can either use removable tape to hold this together. So here's my post-it note tape. Just gonna, it's not a very big piece. Oh well, but I'll show you two ways. So you could take um, removable tape and you just want to make sure these are butted up properly. They should be cut and you want to get that as tight as you can so that the card stays together. See? We want to make sure that that's nice and snug. So I'm going to cut another piece here. Now, you could also do this on the back side so that this tape isn't there, but it really doesn't matter. You just want to make sure it's snug. Now, another option is you can take your double-sided tape and stick that right on. So then it's stuck together. You just got to make sure it's stuck. So when I say you can take it and put it on the other side, what I'm saying is if you don't want this tape here, you can flip it over and make sure you're lined up and butt it against each other and hold it there. So then you can just remove the tape later. But honestly, it doesn't matter because you're pretty much taking the coordinating base and covering it. And all you're going to do here is make sure you are centered. Now, I made this piece purposely. Oh, I'm sorry. I purposely made this piece smaller because you don't want it going right along the score line because you need this piece to fold over. So then it's nice and flush. So you don't want that. So now I'm just going to take my liquid glue. I'm purposely switching so I have a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm just going to add that here. So that way we have some time. And then I'm going to put this right over top, centering it as best as I can. Just by eyeballing it. And I can flip it up, make sure it's flush along the top there, flush along the bottom, and just press. Now we have the center piece. And these should fold nicely, and you should not be touching that score line. And then we can just take these two pieces off and don't get rid of them because they're still usable. And we'll hold on to those. And there is your card base. Now you can stop here. You can stop here and then just add a nice, focal piece in the center and finish it up. And that's pretty much what we did. But all we did was add a twist, which is add a second card. So then this can be your focal point, and then you can leave your message here on the inside. Now, if you're a scrapbooker, it's a great way to add photos on both here or here if you'd like, or even one here on the front. And then when you open it, you kind of see part of the photo, and then you open it up and you see that. Okay, so now all we have to do is take the folded piece or our card, the front of our card. There we go. I always like to add my initial in there for a little bit of love, even though the recipients would not know. But I know, and that's all that matters. So we're just going to center that right along there. And there is our finished accordion card. And all it needs now is decoration. And it sits perfectly straight up and down because this edge here at the bottom is flush with all the other edges. So you don't have it leaning forward or anything like that. It just sits flush and it folds really nice inside. So let's take that cake that I had and switch it up a bit. Although I love my cornflowers, and we're going to add that here to the center. Now, you can do however you like, but what I also did on this one was I did add a bit of color, and I should have did this before, but we'll just fold it over, and I'm going to grab my flirty flamingo. Um, where are you? Oops, I forgot to close all that stuff out. Where is my flirty flamingo? Pretty in pink, bubble bath, moody moon. Oh, did I pull it out already? I don't. Oh, might be here already. No, that's too gel. I thought I had all my colors out, and I noticed I'm missing it, and now I don't see it here. Well, let's do this. Oh, there's Melon Mambo, so I might have stuck it in the wrong pile for some strange reason. But let's grab one of the new colors, Strawberry Slush. This is our new ink color coming in May. By the way, there's a sign up special. So if you like discounts, you definitely would like to consider possibly joining our Prairie Grass Stampers team and get all of your stuff at a discount and still get rewarded. That would be beauty. So there, all I did was give it a little more color to it just to give it some texture so that whole front isn't so blah. Just gonna add a bit more, maybe at an angle even. And now we have just a little bit more texture in there to give it a little more life. I forgot I slid, I guess when I slid this down, it's now giving me, making it too close and out of the picture. Okay, now inside your package, there is also a little piece for you to stamp on. And so this is for heat embossing. And I believe I used, I don't know what I used. Excuse me. Seems I have a frog in my throat. And which one did I use? Well, we can always twist it up. So you can take anything you have and use whichever you have. I think I used, where did I put it? I think it was Simply Set, but for some reason, oh, it's over there. That's why. Forgot I rolled my cart way over here, so that's why I couldn't find it. That's what I did. So I used mixed labels for a great friend. Now I also have So Sincere, which is another classic. Let's see. And actually, it should be Happy Birthday or something. Cause let's see, what else do I have? This is what happens. Why am I going rogue all the time? Na, na, na. Always go rogue when I'm creating here. And I was looking for a happy birthday one that was more rectangular. And see, so what happened. Oh, how about this one? No, that's too big. For real, should stick to my plan. But what makes that doesn't make it fun either. Okay, so here's one from Cheerful Daisies. Wishing you the brightest day. Let's see if that works. I pulled out like 3 different stamp sets. When really I should just be using the one I originally had. Let's see. Oh yeah. And look at that. It fits. Awesome. So we'll just grab a block, pick that up. We're going to, I took out my glass mat because I always find the glare to be a bit annoying. And then what did I do with my mat? I was using it earlier. It was right here. Squirrel. It was, oh, there it is. I put it under my stamp set. That's why I'm like, we were just using it. So we're just going to take that and we're going to obviously prep. Let's get this out of the way. Put these back. Get some embossing powder. Dun, 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 dun. And our embossing tool. And go like that. And where's my Versamark ink? Let's use the mini. Makes life so much easier since it's small. And I have to pull up the big one, which I think it's back in stock now. It's been out for a while. Okay, so then I'm just gonna stamp that. Now I'm going vertical because I can't stick my head in there. I'm just gonna stamp that on there. Give it a second. Pop that off. Beauty. Then we're gonna grab our powder. I'm gonna grab some tweezers here so I don't burn my fingers while I'm heat embossing. Let's grab some powder and add that on. So rubbing it with the embossing buddy makes sure that all the oil is off and we only get the powder sticking to the spots that it's sticky by using the Versamark ink. Want to make sure this is clean and we'll hold that there. So it might be easier if I use this corner. Gives myself a little room. So we're going to do a lot of heat embossing actually. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my heat gun and hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. And then we'll heat that up. And now the heat allows the powder to melt. And you always know it's melted by looking at the shine. And you can see that it'll change brightness and color from that kind of powdery look to that shiny look. You can already see where it's dull versus shiny. Okay? Making sure, oh, and it's spot here. So I can see it's dull. And voila, there you go. Wishing you the brightest day. Awesome. So that's going to go with our cake, which changes things up a bit. And then we're going to put that there. So I am going to Pop Tart that. So let me grab some of this. Never waste the ends. So we're going to grab all of that and add that to it. So again, whatever you have in your collection, just use. Not asking you to go out and buy mixed media florals, although it is a very nice one. And this big, huge cake comes from our wildflower. So there's tons of stickers in this one, or not stickers, ephemera. So you cut those out. Oh, you could even use this one. Look at that one. You could totally turn this into a wedding card and put, oh, that looks pretty too. Oh, can I switch? You could totally turn this into a wedding card as well. Although the candle kind of suits it. But this works very well as too. Oh my. What am I doing? So, okay. Oh, I really like it. But you know what I'm going to stick because I already said happy birthday. Oh, you could put a flower bouquet flower for birthday, but I almost feel like that one should say, you know, happy anniversary or happy wedding. So I'm gonna make another one using that one because that would be perfect too. Look, so many options. Okay, bad meat. Okay, so we'll put that there, and then we're gonna pop this one now because I popped everything else, and now I'm gonna pop this one too. And I think because I ripped these up, this will fit just nicely in there. And I could grab my minis, but hey, these are mini. I can stick one. Yeah, maybe I'll use my minis. It's a little tight. So let me grab a couple minis and my take your pick tool. Yeah, that works better. Does fit pretty nice in there. Maybe it was purposely done. Who knows? Okay, and add that and that. And I'll stick another mini over there. Okay, maybe a little excessive, but this designer series paper isn't as thick as our cardstock. It's very light, so I just want to make sure that it doesn't flatten too much when it goes in the mail. Okay, and I got one more there. I think I got it all now. It could probably still fit in the mail. We shall see. I can check for you. So there we go. Now I would definitely add a few embellishments on that one. And there was a cupcake I can also add on the inside. There's one here. I think I actually have, um, or I could add a flower because this has lots of flowers. Or there's a pink cupcake, which I think would go better with all the pink we're using. And I can stick this one here on the inside, which I'll just do flush. And I still have plenty of room for me to write a note. Now, this might be making it a little tight, but usually the post office staff is pretty good at, making sure it will fit. Okay, so let me just put that now in an envelope. Now, I would add some embellishments, obviously, and I'll stick this backwards for you. And then we'll close it. So I have my handy dandy tool here that helps me know whether or not it'll fit in Canada postage. So it actually fits right through. It works. So it definitely fits on standard postage. This slot here is for standard mail, but oversized, meaning it's too thick. So you are good to go there. Perfect. Great question, Lise. It works. Okay, and that is card number one. But again, like I said, I would definitely add some bling. Maybe just, oh, I had some, I think, in my other one. So you can do this however you wish, of course, and to however you like. So I've got a couple here. I'll use this one, which is low profile dots. I lost the heart here. Saw it. Okay. Got some pink bling in it and some gold. So I'll just grab my take your pick tool here and just add one or two up here and add a third one. I'll use a fatty. Oh, got one down here. Okay. And ta-da! So I have two options. So this one is this, and I still love the cornflower though. And then the cornflower one. So can never seem to get that in there. Okay, so whichever one you like the most. I mean, either way works. But whatever stamp set you have. So just use whatever you have in your stash and I've already changed it up. And there you go. So what other card ideas could you make with this one? So many options, I think. But I love it, and I think it would look fantastic in dark colors, light colors, whichever one you prefer. Okay, so it's amazing how messy I get real quick when I'm making a card versus a scrapbook page. Okay, so I gotta put my tools back or else I will lose them and I'll be scrambling trying to find them when we go to the next one. So let me put this back in the box. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Okay, put those away. So our next one is a simple one, but fun, and it is this pop-up card. And it has a little bit of a box. I think it's kind of like a step-up card. You've seen it many times, and it sits just nicely like this on your table. And I did the You Make Life Better, which and the uh, Natural Botanicals. So this one has no words, but I wanted to use that because I love cornflowers. And I thought it was perfect fit in there. So let's go to our kit and grab the next one, which is this one. So when I designed this, when I did this on Sunday in class, where is it? It was here. I thought it was here. Oh, there it is. It just hit it. I did it on a pink to show you, and that all you have to do is line up the bottom. Man, why am I always out? Line up the bottom so that it's equal on all three sides, and then the rest will do its magic for you. Okay? Literally, it does the rest. So, and what's really nice is thank you. Barb actually scored all of this for us already. So all we have to do is fold it. And inside here, we have all our pieces, so we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to put these back in my envelope so I don't lose them. And we're going to get some of our stamping done first. So this has a bit of Shy Shamrock in it. So I thought I'd play up on that color. My card base, isn't it? Yes. So this, again, just folds like an accordion. Sorry. And literally like an accordion. And we're just going to burnish that. So it's literally sitting like a square box, like so. Right? So you have your 90-degree there. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this bottom. And I used Thoughtful Wishes and pulled out one of these. So you can put whatever. On this one here, I put, I'm so glad you were friends. And you're pretty wonderful. And then where is my original? Oh la la. This is the one I made on Sunday, but I don't know. Oh, why is my original missing here? It's probably on the table somewhere. Ah, I'm gonna drop everything trying to find things. Whew, that light just went bright. Let's just make sure it's not too bright. Okay, I can't find it right now, but maybe I will. So this one has, oh, it's right in front of me, duh. Okay, so You Make Life Better. This one I put, I'm so glad we're friends. And this one says, thinking of you, and you're pretty wonderful. So you can see, you can just change it up to whatever you'd like on that. I'm like, where is it? And it's like right there in front of my face. That's funny. So let's try one of the other ones. They're so big, but so pretty. So this one is a two-sided stamp. What do we call these? um, so this one was actually, it's only 30 bucks. So that was a really good price. And we can put this one here. Or maybe we'll put it on the front. Let's see. Where we need an arch. See if it'll fit. Oh, it's a little tight. It's a little big. It's a little big. So we'll have to use it here. But it's so pretty. I think it's worthwhile to put it on there. Okay, let's go there. So I'm going to need a bigger block. Let me grab big block just because it's a fatty. There we go. Pick that up. So let's see how dark this is. Oh, not too bad. Okay, so we're gonna add that here in the corner. Maybe like that. Oh, sun's coming down and the boy's not back. So my son just got back and he's like, oh, the friends they all just got back from the trip. And they're like, can we go to the club to go play? I'm like, okay, you just got back. You're not hungry? And he's like, I can just wait till later. And I'm like, okay, go play. Oh, what did I do with my chamois? Oh, there. I accidentally put it in the box. So let's just clean that up. Now you have to clean it up because it's a dual stamp, which means you have to take it and flip it so we can get the shaded part. So now I've flipped it and I don't want to get it on any of my other stamp part. So now we're going to ink it up. So see how it just inks up the whole back? One big piece, and I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it that bright. And we get that. And then, oh, wait a second. Nope, nope. That should work. And we get it a little bit, oh, I don't want it on anything. Dark. A little lighter. That's off. What did I do different there? No, I did it the right way. And you get your shadow, but for some reason I'm off. How am I off? Oh, I'm supposed to go a little bit angled. That's okay. We'll leave it. No one's gonna know. So that is our inside. So I don't think I need words. It's pretty good. And we have our other one. So we're gonna stamp this guy. And then the rest is all assembly. So what I did here was I felt like it was a little blah. So I grabbed another blending brush. And I'm just gonna put this back so I don't lose it. Okay. And we're gonna need the corn. So or the corn flour, also known as, I think, echinacea is what I was saying to everyone on the call or on our. That one's not gonna fit. This one. And all I did was, there's my daffodils right there. Add a bit of color because it was too stark white for me, just too plain, boring white for me. So all we're gonna do, I feel like you're too far away. Okay, so you're gonna add some ink, and then all I did was create a little bit of color going at an angle here, just to give it some life per se. Okay, that's it. Real simple. You can go around the edges, you could do whichever, but I just felt like it needed something besides embellishments because you always could use gems. And then I grabbed my early espresso and took my corn flour. Now you put whatever you want on this, right? And let's make sure. This is like super juicy, I think. Oh, nice and juicy. I can see bubbles coming out of my ink pad right now. Oh, yeah. And we're going to add that there. like so. And there's my corn flour. Beauty. Love it. And I'm going to clean that. Okay. Use whatever you want. Like again, if you have any suggestions, please write it in the chat because that's what it's all about, is to inspire each other. I don't expect you to copy mine exactly. I want you to be bold and be different. And then we're going to, oh, where are we? This one. So we have so many options. So many. And I'm going to use your kindness made my day. Should I do that one? Or you're pretty wonderful. I think I did you're pretty wonderful already, right? I think that's what I shared. Yeah. So let's do your kindness made my day. This isn't a daisy, so you can't do that. Well, there's also your kindness is so appreciated. So many options. Okay, let's do that one. Oh, oh, there it is. I'm like, I'm missing one. No, I am not. And we'll add that there. And let's grab that shy shamrock again, just to, you know, be different. Oh, that's pretty funny. Do a quick test, and then line that up. Put that on the bottom. Awesome. And if I want, I can also stick a gift card on there as well. So let's get that one cleaned up too and out of the way. I noticed I forgot to clean up one of my other stamps. And we'll get these put away or off to the side so I know where they are and I don't mix it up with my chamois. Okay, now some assembly required. So like I said, we're going to take our base and here's all the rest of our pieces already cut for us. So we're just going to take that. This is your standard card front on a thick basic white card base. And we're going to add our adhesive. Oh, there's another beautiful blue pattern there. Add my initial in the middle. And let's make sure we're going the right way because this pattern is directional. So you don't want to open it upside down. Who has not done that? We all have. And then there's two pieces here. Should be two. One. Oh, there it is. Two, which fit perfectly here. So we'll add that. Dun, dun, dun. Now I built this one a little differently with the group on Sunday, but since we're here, I'm gonna keep it flush and do it here just because I found it. I think it might be easier. And I'll add that piece. Now inside your kit, there's also another small piece of white. Let's see. There it is. Still stuck in the envelope. And I'm gonna just grab my scoring tool. And while we haven't assembled it yet, we're just gonna feel like something is, oh, because I don't have it flush on the table. That's okay. I want to just make sure you can see. Let's move this out of the way. So we're just gonna tuck this in the corner and we're gonna score. I think it's right. It should be, yeah. So we're just gonna score at 1/2 inch each time. So 1 inch and then 1.5. Okay, and that gives us our thing. So you're gonna make a square. That's all we're doing here. Oops, just knocked my table over. And I'm just gonna grab my burnishing tool and I'm gonna fold it in half and flush it so it's burnished. And then I'm gonna fold it again this way so that this line here is burnished. And you're gonna get that perfect square. Okay, and that square is what's going to go right here. So when you flatten it, it should fit right in that score line crease. So I'm going to take some of my, because I want this to stick real good, I'm going to use my CO Plus on there. And while we're flush here, you can even squeeze it the opposite way, whatever works for you. We're going to add this right in there. So you get this nice, oh, it's not even centered, but it doesn't matter because it depends what you put there. But that's how you get your little square in there. So it's right in the corner. And now you could decorate whatever you want there. So on both of mine, I put the flower. So you could put whatever you want. Let's just say, let's say, oh, someone's ringing my doorbell. My apologies. We can even grab a couple flowers from here, or let's see, why don't we? I'm telling you, just pull everything you got out. And why don't we just add this cupcake? Or not, whatever. There's, oh, I really want to use this one, but it's way too big. And there's some, oh, there's also that nice flower, which kind of goes. Let's try that one. And yeah, it probably won't go with the cupcake. Oh, there's a big piece of cake. It's not really a birthday though. So you could stick a flower there or whichever you like. Okay, I gotta move it because it's not centered. It's driving me bonkers. There we go. Which isn't gonna work for me. Just gonna add my score line my score lines together. There. And then I can add my little flower here. Yep, yep. Like so. I'm just gonna use mini glue dots to make life easy. So I'll put it right on there. So, like I say, just use what you got. So, now, these are simple pieces, as you can see. And what's great about them is that you're using up a lot of your scrap. So that was the other reason I really liked these designs. Okay. And I mean, this one is something I pulled out from a long time ago. And you can see, I'll just show you here. So this, as long as you don't cross that line there, you should go flush. And when it's folded, you won't see it. So let's grab our card base, which I've already lost in my pile here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Oh, this goes on the front. So let's add dimensionals to that and finish it. This one there, rip one there, and just take another strip, put it along the top. There we go. So this is our centerpiece. So these are our new arch dies. Oh, haha, I almost did it. I almost put it upside down. Wow, that would be terrible. Okay, there we go. And this should fit as well in standard postage. So we shall experiment. And again, we're just going to add adhesive here to the back because this is going to be our piece. And my initial again in the middle. And this piece sits flush here along the bottom. So remember what I said, just make sure it's equal on all three sides. And you should be good. There we go. And this will just pop up nicely there. So as long as we're flush here, this will go. Oh, I did it again. Oh my goodness. Ladies, stampers, fellow stampers, I pulled, I did a boo boo. Okay, I forgot. This goes on last because we got to tuck in our piece here to hide that white piece, which should fit perfectly. So I just pulled that back. Oops, that's why I did that piece last. Okay, forgot. So just pull that adhesive back a bit, and our last piece now goes right in here and lines up perfectly to the top. Okay, just make sure if you're using designer series paper that is directional, you're going in the right direction. And we'll just stick that piece back on. And we'll flush everything down flat. Okay, there we go. And there you have it. So there's your beautiful card. It's got flush. I got room to write my note. And you can see you got your 90-degree angle there. So this one says your kindness made my day. This one says thinking of you. And this one I changed the color and says you're pretty wonderful. But they're all the same. And then just change the inside so you're good to go there. See, even I go rogue on my own designs for you. And that is the second one. So this little guy here, you can do whatever you want with. Um, just make sure you use some really good strong tape and put whatever you like there. Ta-da! That is card number 2. Sweet. Okay, this next one is like one of my favorites. Now I just gotta make sure I put everything together so that when we do our reveal at the end, it looks good. And now our next one, the only trick you need to know here is that, trying to get my instructions out, is making the box in the middle. So this is a floating tent card. You've seen it many times. It's If you look it up on Pinterest, it's shown quite often. You can see it floats here on the inside. So when you actually look at it, it's got a bit of a pop-up frame there. So it's hiding on the inside, but yet floating perfectly in there. So in your kit, so you obviously recognize that this is terrific toadstool paper from Celebration. So we have that, and then we should have our gray piece in here. Ooh, where is it? There it is. There it is. Oot, there it is. Okay, and so the trick with this one is you're going to need a rectangular die. I find that the rectangle really maximizes it the most. Um, and you should have, and I do recognize when we did this kit on the weekend, there is one piece missing from this kit, and it is our mechanism piece. So, but don't worry, you can use your scraps, and it works just fine. Oh, I grabbed the wrong kit. Sorry, I'm like, this doesn't look right. Sorry, this is for the last card. Where is my other one? Apologies. There it is. We need this one. So the first thing we're going to do is cut this down to the correct size of the card front. And just want to double check. Yeah. So your standard card front size. And then you can keep this piece for whatever you want to create with. And we'll cut that down. And then real simply glue this to the front of the card. And in this case, it is smoky slate. Okay, so we're going to add that here. Now, on this card, I want to make sure I put my glue everywhere because remember, we're cutting out a piece. So I'm going to add adhesive all along so that way when I cut out my rectangle from the center of my card, the designer series paper won't fall out. I never use this much glue except for when I'm doing a cut like this. Because our glue, our adhesive, goes a long way and does not require a lot of excessive glue. But because we have to cut out a rectangle, it is necessary. And I'm using the textured notes dies, and I'm using the third largest one. So I'm going to grab this one here and use that one to find my center. Okay, now if you do not have one, you can just cut out a rectangle using your paper trimmer. And I gave you the measurements of the approximate size of this rectangle. So we're just going to reuse the pieces from before. So we're just going to put that in there like so. Actually, I'm going to make sure it's a little higher along the top so that my mechanism, so you can have your piece hanging there and then my base isn't as obvious. So we're going to do that. And then all we're going to do is run that through our big boss. So I'm going to need the big boss for this one. I'm going to lift you up for a bit here just to be able to get my machine in here. Okay. We're just going to set that in here. Now you're going to open it and only cut this one side. If we cut both sides, what's going to happen? You're going to have a hole on both sides, and we don't want that. So you're going to put that back in here like so, and then slide that through. And there you go. So I would do it a couple times just to make sure, depending how thick your designer series paper is in your cardstock. And you should be glued pretty good together now because we put all that adhesive on there all the way through. So we should be good. And then even here, because we put the adhesive all the way through, we shouldn't have a lot of lift from that card. Okay, so I'm going to put that back. And that is our front. Now, you can put another piece of designer series paper here on the back. I just feel like it's not necessary, but you can if you'd like to show it floating more or that it's in there. But that really is up to you. Now, I gave you an extra piece so that you can stamp with, but I've already done my stamping on some of it. And then we have our piece that holds this card together. So this card should be the same width, which means we're going to score along the shorter side. So then that way we don't lose our width. So just so you know, it's this way, and we're going to score along that side. So you can stick that in our machine, or you could use your scoring tool. And I'm just going to look up my scoring instructions because I can't remember what it is. So we're going to go here. Okay, I'm going to go this way because it's so much easier in my life to do a half inch on this side. Then I'll just flip it. This is where it's kind of handy if you actually use your scoring tool. Yeah. There and there. And I think we just need one more after this one. Yeah, because that's just a little too thick there. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And then once again, what are we going to do? Absolutely. Fold it like an accordion and burnish those edges once again. So there's, oh, I forgot to drop you down. Sorry. So there is my accordion, right? So just going to grab my bone folder and we're going to just burnish that. So that's nice. And then that is what's going to sit on the inside of our card here. So that will fold here, and then all you're doing is making sure those edges are good. So that's what's going to sit there. But let's get this guy done too. This one needs a mechanism as well. And again, I have an extra piece here, I think. That is almost the right width. I thought I had one that was. Okay, I don't. So let's cut this down because, and you could, this is just a mechanism, so you can cut it to whatever you want. And then I'm going to trim it because I noticed it was a quarter inch too big. That should probably work. This is just scrap I had sitting there. So I'm going to score it down the middle. I think that's right. Yep. So, and I just used whatever thickness I wanted. And that's what's going to go along the back. So that is what's going to allow our piece to float. So we're just going to add some adhesive there and then add this right along the edge as a top there. And that's what makes our floating mechanism. Now, I've already punched my toadstools pieces so that I wouldn't have to. I don't think I did them all. So that you wouldn't have to see me do it all. But these are my pieces. Oh, I have to do my grass. So let's grab this and some grass. So we got our scrap here that I gave you in your pack. And we're going to grab the grass and just do 3 shades of garden green. I just cleaned these because they were not sticky. And now they're still not that sticky. So, that's pretty peacock. Let's grab our garden green, and I'm going to do this 3 times. Ready? Easy peasy. Oh, that's strong. Let's see if I can tone it down a bit. So strong. 1. And I wouldn't worry too much if you're off the page because remember it's narrow. 2. Mine is really juicy, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to go really light. 3. That didn't work on that piece there. See if I can get that ink in there. Good enough. It's just grass. So we're going to cut these out real quick. Wow, that's juicy. And just so you know, they're not going to be, they'll be overlapping each other, so we're going to trim them. So that's why I was like, don't worry if it's not perfect. Okay, I scrap out of the way. And we're just going to follow those lines real quick. There's 1. And 2. Now the last fun fold, we're already on our 3rd one here, and I hope you're enjoying them. If you are, just give me a heart. And whether you're on replay or you're live, just give me an emoji. Then I know whether or not you actually enjoyed these designs and whether or not you'll create them again. Just give me a little knowing. Okay, those are my 3. And I'm just going to stick that onto here. So I'll use this one as my front. So it's my grass along the bottom. So however you like to put that, doesn't really matter. So we'll do this one here. So I'm just going to grab my adhesive again. And I'm going to put a thin line along the bottom because I got to decide. Oh, running low. Got to decide where I'm going to tuck in those mushrooms. So this is the famous terrific toadstool that everybody's been loving. And again, wherever your heart desires. So I think I'm going to go somewhere here. And I'm just going to tuck that in. I want to make sure I don't see any gray. So put that there. And then one more up here. Uh, Maybe on the longer side. And it doesn't have to be perfect because remember, these are just like mounds in there. So do with it as you like. So let's go here, add some adhesive. And we're going to trim this, obviously, because it won't fit in the card otherwise. Tucking, tucking in. There we go, like so. And then we have our three mushrooms. Two, one. Oh, I used different mushrooms on this one. These two are my other ones. Oh, I have a third mushroom. Forgot the third one. Forgot the third one. So let's get that stamped. And I forgot a stem. So let's grab pumpkin pie. Let's use pumpkin pie. And we need a mini block. And there it is. And we'll grab, see, not even sticking, this little doodad. And do pumpkin pie. This one will have to die cut, fussy cut. And we need the fancy stem, which we will do an early espresso. Yeah, just can't keep my space clean. Okay. I don't mind if it doesn't stamp perfectly because you don't find perfect mushrooms anywhere. They're like different shades of grays, right? Like or beige almost. So why would you have a perfect stamp? Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're gonna fussy cut this. Doesn't take too long. And you always make sure you have those nice sharp scissors so that you can move the paper, not your snips. Let's get that out of the way because it'll drive me bonkers. And I don't want any white showing, so that's why I'm being a little meticulous there. Cut this off. And again, we're just gonna, this one's, these are so easy. So this doesn't have a punch of this stem. It just has a standard punch for the straight, like stem that goes narrow and then wide. Okay. My gosh, 17 days till I go to Toronto again for another soccer tournament. And we rented a minibus. So I told my husband he has to drive the minibus because it's freaking huge. So I don't know who else can drive that thing with 12 people in it. Okay, now I'm just thinking out loud with you. Okay, so let's add these. So that was going there. And where's my other two mushrooms? There they are. So this is the piece that actually punches out, this one here, but we stamped it, so I wasn't too concerned. And then we're gonna put these on there. So let's grab my mini glue dots again. I prefer to use that than dab it with glue because I'll get glue all over me. It's just a normal thing for me. And then we'll stick that right inside that center there, like so. And this one I'll probably put. This is why I didn't put glue all the way because we want to tuck it. I want to be able to tuck it inside. And we don't want, and on this kind of card, because it's a floating, we don't want anything popping, like sticking out on either side. Otherwise, it won't tuck in very nicely. Come on, can't pick it up. Then we're going to add this one. So we're going to fold over the mini glue dot edges. Okay, and then this one sticks here. And we'll slide that one maybe in here. So that's a little too long for me, so I'm going to cut it there so that I can see more of the big mushroom. And then we got the itty bitty stub. Oh my, how are we going to glue this one? So I'm just going to put a little bit of the mini glue dot. And I'm going to put the rest on the back of the mini glue dot because it's a stub. And we're going to tuck that one right there. Perfect. So I'm not going to use adhesive. I'm going to just keep going with my mini glue dots here because it just makes me happier. And I don't have to deal with all that glue getting on my fingers. Okay, so you just got to make sure though that none of this mini glue dots is sticking out so that you don't have glue sitting anywhere. Okay, and that's it. Now you'll notice I didn't do the stems because they'll just hold in place anyway. Now I can use my scrapbooker's trick. Whenever I'm tucking, just like to grab adhesive, tuck there, and tuck there, and then one more at the top. Whew, that's a lot of mini glue dots, but worth it. There we go. I pulled on that too much and now it got a little bit sticky. There we go. So everything will hold in place nicely. So now all I have to do, trim and trim. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so how does this work? Like so. So all we're going to do is tuck this right back into the hole. See? It'll fit. It should fit. And that's where that'll go. So let's add some adhesive. Since this is out, I'm just going to use my liquid glue, which is running out, and add that to the back. Oh, I'm glad they're turning out well. Thank you. I hope you like them. These are such fun cards. And what's great about these is seriously, you're just using a lot of your leftover scraps. Whatever you got lying around from leftover kits, right? And so that fits perfectly. See? You can see, oh, I guess you can't see it because this goes in the way. But now you have that floaty piece there. So you see it flapping. And now you could technically leave this, but it always wants to fan out. So that's why I think it's really important to have that mechanism in the bottom part of the card. So it doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong on how this goes in here. All that matters is that it's flush along the bottom. So it's going to peek through a bit depending how you put that along the bottom. So here, I just want to show you. Depending how much space you left here will depend on here. So mine's flush on this one, but on my original, you can kind of see right here in this corner, see that piece of gray popping through there? That's this mechanism. So it's okay, like the bottom piece, if it's popping through, because it kind of just looks like it's part of the design. So don't panic, don't worry, just roll, okay? Because your sentiment's going to cover it anyway. So I'm just going to add my adhesive. And now I know mine's going to be flush, just FYI, because I saw it already. Now, you're not flushing it with this piece because you see it's skinnier, right? You can see that. You've got that much. You want to flush it with this bottom piece. So you're just going to take these two tips here and make sure it's flush with the bottom. Okay, just trying to get all this out of the way so you can see. And that goes there. Okay, so it's flush. Perfect. You can see it fold out like an accordion. And then I'm just going to add the rest of my adhesive along there. And now this will just bounce right down to the bottom. And this should float nicely inside there. Now that piece is on the inside and no one is the wiser. Okay, ta-da! Now, all we have left is to put our sentiment. So inside your envelope, which I think, yeah, there's a piece of adhesive or early espresso in there. If you've changed your pattern and gone or using whatever, just toss that piece out and use whatever color you want. So again, we're gonna remove any oils from the card. You should see my next class. I can't wait to do my next one with you all. Here again. Where's my powder? Oh, there it is. Oh, the mess around me. Okay, so we're gonna jump in here and use the popping up to say hi. Wow, I'm like using up all my blocks here. Okay. Oh, hey, we have a paper pumpkin one from when my team was here. So yeah, we had a team gathering last month. So I was out of blocks. So we used all the paper pumpkin blocks to create our in color cards. And by the way, I created my design and then they all went rogue and created their design. And I liked their designs better. So I was so happy. Okay. And we're going to add that. And what's nice is you could just trim this down to whatever. You've not done these folds before. Oh, fantastic. I'm so glad I'm teaching and sharing with you something new. So I did something similar to this tent fold one before, just slightly different. And but the floating piece was the front piece. So I like that this one's floating on the inside. Okay. I tried to find the video because all videos from the past Facebook has removed. So then I downloaded what I could and then have been uploading them um to my YouTube channel. Okay, which is right here where we are right now. Okay, so we're gonna heat that again. Okay, heat that up, get that going. And we'll just keep brushing that back and forth, and you'll start to see that crystallize and melt, and then turn all white. Taking a while. There we go. Come on, heat up. Okay, and almost finished. That pea needs a little bit more heat. There you go. I've had that heat tool for I don't know since my 20s, and oh, I got a little bit there. That's fine. We'll cut that out. And I just can't believe it's still around because I'm probably jinxing it by telling you all this, but I've been dropping it constantly since I've been trying to redesign, organize my room, my craft space, because I want to start hosting classes here at home for anyone local. So I'm like, oh, and every time I try and find someplace new for my heat tool, I just end up dropping it. Okay, so I've cut that down a bit because I didn't like how wide it was. And we're going to stick that right here. Ta-da! Just on the front, like so. So you're just going to add adhesive along the bottom. Let's make sure I am along the bottom. Just like that. A simple line. And we're going to stick that right there. Just center it. There you go. And let's just grab some embellishments. Whatever you like. Let's just use these again because, they're right here. Where's my Actually, I have pecan ones. Where are those? Let's pull out the stash. Oh, there they are. See, right in front. I'm like, I want to use the other one. Because that's what I used on the original. Look at the whites. Oh, would that pop? What do you think? The whites would really make it pop. So that's too much, I think. So let's go here. Oh, come on. So we'll add a couple there. I like to do different sizes, and then we'll stick another one. You can go either up there or maybe over there. Oh, I think I did that with the other card. So there we go. Ta-da! So very similar, slightly different. But again, it floats on the inside. So I don't know. I like it. Tentfold, I think it's called. Floating tentfold, something like that. So, feel free to Pinterest it. I'm sure you'll find a lot. Um, I did, where did I get? I did get that one from Peter. And I can't remember who I actually followed, but I had to figure this one out a little bit on my own. Because there wasn't really a lot of direction. Okay, we've done 3 and we're on the last one. Woot woot! And it's already 9, an hour and a half. Not bad. I told you it was going to be a while. Okay, where's my finished card on this one? Where, oh, where are you? I thought I had them all here. Oh, there it is. See? Okay, for all my scrapbookers, this one is a fun one. It works for card makers, obviously, but it is ideal too, especially for scrapbookers, because you can add so many photos in here. So this unties, and this opens up, and you can add a note or a photo here. And then you open it up, and then along this side here, you can add photos or a gift card. Now, I put a ribbon, and I'm going to tell you the same thing I told them during Sunday's class, is it's too bulky. I thought I could make it work. I tried using twine. It does make it thinner if you use twine, but it doesn't show off as nice. So I'll show you, it'll be blank. And then you could stick another photo here, a photo here, or a photo here. In my case here, I just left it as a card. So I really like the fact it's a card and a card again. And that you have this extra pocket for you to add gift cards or photos as you see fit. So this one was Case by Kylie Bertucci. So super easy. I can't remember when I did that one, but I always keep a copy of my cards so then I can always come back to them. Don't ask me where it is in her website because I have no clue. Okay, so in your kit, I gave you tons of paper, tons of designer series paper, and I don't know if I just grabbed them all. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? Because the 6th one would have been the gray one. So I gave you a whole set. This one would definitely go as oversized mail. Um, if you use the standard shipping because it's the right size. Okay, so you will have ribbon, and we're going to take the 2 card bases. Like this is the hardest part of the card. No word of a lie. The hardest part. And the rest is literally decorating. You'll have 2 card bases. And each card base is gonna, because a standard card is 4 1/4. So if you take a standard card 4 1/4, you cannot do it with a 12 by 12. Well, I shouldn't say you can't. It's just that your card now becomes 4 inches wide instead of 4 1/4. So 4 1/4 times 3 is 12.75. 12 3/4. Well, our paper only comes in 12 by 12. So it doesn't work. Now there's a seam there. So we're taking 2 normal card bases and pretty much gluing them here on the inside. So this piece will be here and this here. So you'll see it should flush, and you're going to have a 1/16 of an inch gap there because you can only go so far into the score line. But that's okay. So you'll have a little bit. Now it looks like you have a little bit, but this is the only tip, you need. and that is to fold the front piece in half. I don't normally do this, but I can tell your kit may either have thick basic white or basic white. Doesn't matter. This one is basic white instead of thick. So I'm able to fold this without using my bone, without using my scoring tool. But I still need my bone folder. So if I was using thick basic white or colored cardstock, I'd probably score that. Now, and that's okay because this is going to be a thick card. So using basic white is just fine. Now, the hardest part is done. All I did was fold the front literally in half. That's the hardest part. Now, the second hardest part is gluing these together. And the most important thing is to make sure you're gluing it backwards, not the same direction, or else you cannot open it, butterfly open it. So you want to make sure it's opening the opposite way of each other. See? And you're just going to slide that in nice and flush and press. And you're done. There's your card base in any color you want. Or if you prefer, use designer series paper as your base. But know that it's only 4 inches wide if you use designer series paper. So that's why I like to use the cardstock. That is the most difficult part of the entire project. Now I have to get my measurements here because I gave you a whole slew of pattern paper so that you can put whatever you want on the inside and on the outside. So on here, you can see I use these two patterns and then I use opposite patterns on that side to tie and bring all the colors together. So let's find this front piece. I probably have a piece because there's so much left over already. So that's this one, is the back. And then there's the stripe one. Here's the stripe one. And that is the front. Now on this one, yeah. Okay, so again, a 1/4 inch smaller. So we need these two. Now with your paper trimmer, because this is designer series paper, I can do 2 sheets at once. So I'm going to take the 2 sheets that are going in on the front, and I'm going to cut these down to the size that I actually need it. And that is a 1/4 inch smaller than the actual requirement. And again, 1/4 inch smaller length height wise. Okay, and I'm not going to keep those 2 pieces. They're just going to go in the garbage. Now these 2 we will use for the inside. Now, grab our base, grab some adhesive, and put that piece down. This is literally it. You can like leave me now if you wanted to, but I hope you don't, so you can see the finish. There is one more trick, which is the pocket, but that's pretty easy to figure out. So we're just gonna put that there. I forgot to get myself a drink, and because I can feel my throat getting dry, we're gonna add some here, and that's now. Oh, I think it's directional. Yep. So we'll put that the right way on the inside. Now, if you want, you could add some more here, but I find that it's not needed because we open it this way. You could also glue this down if you want or cut it off, but I'm like, it adds another fun piece of fun. Now we're going to grab, now you could go crazy and change up the patterns and use whatever you want, but we're going to use, oh, I am missing one. I know the kits are complete. It's just, I'm a mess over here right now. And I lost a piece somewhere. Because I should have this piece. Oh, it's on the back of this one. Duh, I knew it was somewhere. So Now this is still a little wider, is it or is it not? We want this one to be 4 inches, so let's make sure. Oh yeah, just a hair. 4 inches. Again, standard card fronts. And I think I might keep that. Decide which piece I put on the inside. And this one goes here, like so. I was like, where is that piece? Oh, right, because this piece, for some reason, has the leaves upside down, the opposite direction as the mushrooms on the other side. That's not normal. Usually they're all in the same direction. Okay, there, that's that. And then we open the inside, and now we got these two pieces. So I used the funky one, funky waves. And again, same thing, standard card base. See? Oops, I could have did two at once. What was I thinking? I wasn't. Okay, and this one. Okay, we can do both of these at the same time. So that's my one. And then we need these two. I'm going to have my stripes this way. And that's the right. Is that the right direction? Yep. I'm going to stick this in here. And again, standard card. Oops. Let's make sure it's flush. Oh, I need a drink. 4. Throat's getting itchy from all this talking. And I forgot to grab a drink beside me here. And so we can use these pieces. Keep those. And that's our 3. So we're going to need this one will go here. And this one will go there. So let's put those in. Save that one though, because we're going to do a pocket. So a pocket's really easy. It's really up to you where you want to put your line. So we'll stick that there. Oops. And line that up. So hopefully you're flush between all the other pieces. These two are the same. So how we're going to get that pocket is I'm going to take my paper trimmer. I'm going to line this up at 1 inches, 1 inch, inches, or 1.5, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go 1.25. I'm going to put a pencil mark there. And then all I'm going to do is line up my pencil mark there and my pencil mark here. Or sorry, my tip here. So my tip here and my pencil mark there should get me what I actually need. Let me just pull that up a bit because it's not easy to see. So there's my pencil mark, which I did at about 1.25, 1.5. And then we're putting that tip there in the corner and we're just going to cut right through. And this becomes our extra piece. And now we have our pocket. Now to make it a pocket, it means you only glue 3 sides. Let me get rid of that pencil mark. Okay, so we're going to add adhesive. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 sides. So, what? I lost it. Oh, lost my tear tape. Okay, so I'm going to use, I like to use tear tape whenever I do pockets in case somebody's got a heavy hand and pulls too far. And I'm going to cut that at an angle up there as well. And then this one's going to go down here and the small one, small corner. And then we're going to go right across along the bottom. Okay. And there we go. Like so. The ring's falling off. Okay. So now all we have to do is rip these off because it's double-sided tape. No, it's not sticking so well. Come on. And all we're going to do is line that up to the bottom here. Voila. Ta-da! And there's your pocket, right? If you glued all three sides, you would be screwed. And then now we just need adhesive on all three sides there. I mean, all four sides, not three. Said it. I'm going to add our adhesive. And I'll put my initial in the middle. For love. See, I can't even pick it up. And then we're going to add that here on this side. Ta-da! Now, we're not done yet. We got to take our piece. We have two arches and some ribbon and a middle piece and another piece. So there's another piece here for you to stamp with. I'm going to use it to put on the inside. So this here goes on the outside. It's already cut perfectly for you. So all you have to do is add your adhesive. There you go. And then we need, now, you know what? I'm not going to because I just realized I want to put photos on it. So this piece is going to go here. So we're going to add more adhesive again. And we'll add that here to the middle. Now you can also take one of these pieces you have here and add that as a strip there. If you're not going to do photos, and then put another piece of, embellishment or ephemera or whatever you want there, depending what kind of card you are making this into, whether it's birthday or celebration or anything like that. Okay, so we are pretty much done. Now all we have to do is take our ribbon, and our ribbon does show in the back. I prefer to keep it that way because depending who you're giving this to, they may not understand that they have to untie the ribbon. So I'm just going to take the two ends, pull it flush, and make my center over here. So we're flush. And you can trim this ribbon. I just gave you like probably 24 inches. So you have plenty of space to work with. Plenty of ribbon to work with, I should say. And then we're going to tie that. So that goes there like so. So now we're just going to add our front piece. I like big ribbons when I'm doing things like this. Then they know it's like a book per se. So we're going to grab our piece here again. And I'm just going to, give it a little more color. So I'm just going to take my pink from earlier, just because there's pink on the front and it's right here handy, and just add a little bit of color to the edge, like so, just to give it a little more life. Okay. And we're going to stamp it. And I'm going to use Early Espresso. And I'm going to use You Are Magical, like magic mushrooms. Let's use this guy. Whew. So I'm going to grab my ink pad here and ink that up. And then stamp You Are Magical along the bottom. Beauty. And we're going to take our two mushrooms Now I've already done these. Oh yes. And oh, where's my stems? I thought I had them. Maybe I used them up. Well, good chance or good opportunity for me to grab a piece of scrap and show you that you can just take this, add it in there. There's my one stem, and then I can find the spare spot on here somewhere instead of stamping and punch out a second stamp. Whew, that's the garbage everywhere. Oh look, see, I even have a little one. I could totally heat emboss that with white powder. And that'll make that pop. So there's my two stems. And we'll make this guy a little shorter though. Keep this guy a little longer. So it is thinner than that, but I just wanted you to see it in case you don't have this set yet and would like to consider getting it. So we're going to add adhesive there. And now my mini glue dot is smaller, so we're just going to tuck. Okay, tuck that all in there. I like to add it. I think it looks weird when it's on the back. I don't know. That's just me. So I still have to tuck some more here because I can see it and that'll stick to the envelope. We don't want that. And this guy I'm going to cut off a bit so he's shorter. And then we'll add another mini glue dot there. This is a good time to get those micro dots. I actually have some in the drawer. And we'll put that one there. So there's my two, and that two will go like so. So you can either have them the same height or over top each other. I mean, whatever works for you. So I'm just gonna use, we'll adhere this one and then pop the other one. Oh my. Okay. 1, 2, 3 is enough. So here's my first mushroom. And there's my second. And this one, I'll put a little one on the bottom, but then we'll put 2 minis on the top. Should probably use my take your pick tool because my fingers are usually too stubby to really get in here. Man, it's been a long time since I've crafted. Soccer has been eating up my schedule, so it feels really good to be here. And I think I'm going to come back with another class because I got another one ready and waiting. Okay, so there's that, and that is going to go here. So we're going to use dimensionals because I want to hold this in place. Now remember, you don't want to put this all the way down because then you can't open it. So we only need it on this half. So this is roughly where I want my ribbon. And where did my dimensionals go? Okay, I'll just grab another pack. It's always, there's always more. Here we go. And I'm going to stick one right there and one right there. So then that's going to hold my ribbon in place. See? And then make sure we put this on the right side. So we got to put it on this side. So I'm going to stick one at the top and then another one at the bottom. So then that way we have all 4 set. And it's okay if the ribbon moves. I just don't want it to slide around. I want it to have a home, put it that way. And there's that. Awesome. So we're going to take this and I'm going to stamp that leaf. Supposed to be granny apple green. I'm going to use granny apple green. I used garden green on the weekend. But I want granny apple green stuff. And grab this. So again, you can either put photos or keep decorating. Keep adding more images and stamps and whichever you want. So we're going to open this up. Get this out of the way so I have more space. And all we're going to do, this is going to lie flash here, but we want it to hide. So I'm just going to stick this right here. Okay. We're going to add our adhesive because then I know exactly where I'm supposed to be. So it's hidden. Now I'm using liquid glue in case I need to move it a little. Okay. So we are flush. I'm just going to use my scissors here. And then we're going to pull this shut. Just fold it over. So then when I look at the front, I shouldn't see it. It should land exactly where I need it to be, which it has. And now when I open it, I get the other arch that's in there, which is in your kit. Okay? And that's like seriously, that's all she wrote, folks. Like, it's what you can keep decorating and embellishing to your heart's desire. I mean, this is yours and yours alone. So however you want to do it. And I'm going to put one here because I just feel like there should be. And I'm going to stick another one here. And sometimes they go flying, which is, and I'm going to put this one off the page over there. So add as many as you like, however you like. I almost feel like I need one more because it looks kind of lonely. It looks kind of weird. So which means I need a fifth one. Never do odds. There, a little much. But then you open it up. You've got your flap here. Room for two more images if you like. And then your pocket. Now, embellish and add more images. I didn't, so here's my original, right? With the tie. I'll show you the other one. Oh, did I finish it? I can't remember where it is. And then I put a thing here so I could add a little note instead. So that is your other option. I mean, it's not an option. It's really yours. So again, this just ties up. Grab our two ends there. Pull it shut. And I love making these. You know, money holders is another one I like to do, but who gives cash nowadays? Rare. So it's always like gift cards. One of my favorite gift cards I like to give, and the kids love it, my nieces and nephews, is gas cards. I always give them co-op gas cards or any favorite, place. And they're like, thank you, because now they just got a free tank of gas. So they're like super excited about that. Okay, so there's our four. I'll bring this up a bit. Okay, and this should be good. So that is our last one. That was our last one. And oh, why did my card go all crooked? Um, let's just make sure. Okay. And then this was the other one we did with the 10th floating card. And then this one is kind of like a step. So that's three. And then our fourth one, which was the kind of like, she called it an accordion, but I almost feel like it's a seagull. And those are our four cards. So I hope you've had a lot of fun and you take your hand at making one of these as well. Pull out a lot of your scraps or whatever you have handy and create and use whatever stamp sets you have on hand. Kind of like how that cake stands out, but I still think my favorite definitely is this one. So tell me what you think. Show me what your favorite one is, or write it in the comments. Which of these four do you like the most? Like design wise, do you like the accordion fold? Do you like the step? Do you like the floating tent or the mini scrapbook card? So those are my four. I would like to say thank you for stamping with me, and I hope this inspires you to create new ones. Yes, all I'm so glad they're all new fun folds for you. Um, and I will definitely keep going because I'm having lots of fun and create more. So thank you again for sticking up and staying up with me, I should say, and walking through all of it. And if you have any questions or anything at all, please put it in the comments or feel free to email me at nemibcc@gmail.com. It's here as well. And floating tent's your favorite. Awesome. I love it. And it only used one sheet of designer series paper, which I really like. So thank you and have a great night and happy stamping. Bye. Sorry, it won't let me stop.